So, with a little bit of instruction about our trough and scoff doors which will lead to the boss, we have made it to Jungle Japes. We're being taught about the banana medals as well. 75 bananas gets us one of these. And Red 2 is standing by with all 4 lit, and in the green, we're starting out in perhaps the classic Donkey Kong environment, the jungle level. Of course, you started out in jungle levels in Donkey Kong Country, which I sort of fibbed a bit in the, or at least provided the wrong information in the previous episode. I started a lot of stuff for Donkey Kong with Donkey Kong Country on the Game Boy Color. Now, your jungle areas are usually your starting area, at least they were in Donkey Kong Country. But they actually wind up being late game areas in the other 2 games, which is kind of interesting. I'll get onto that once we see the main area. There's nothing for DK to do in that tunnel back there. Hey, DK! Help! There's our buddy Diddy, who was, of course, the best character in Donkey Kong Country because DK was slower and less agile. Note that we've somehow teleported right in front of the banana port pad as we get the explanation of the golden bananas. 25 in each level, but 5 of them for each Kong, so we're a bit stuck. So activate that. Now, our jungle level also brings with it DK Island Swing, or at least a variation thereof. This is essentially the series' sort of main leitmotif, as it were. Let's see, wait. Just making sure I get used to the changes I made to the camera because the C-stick is a pain in the backside. Anyway, with DK Island Swing providing a lot of memorable music for the series, nothing we can do over here just yet apart from activate this, which we probably should because we can use it to get across the world map in a flash. Can't do anything about the ammunition just yet. But your standard jungle level, actually I'm going to divert a little bit. I'm still sort of being the tutor. Now, the tag barrels I mentioned earlier on, I was trying to explain about the interesting little thing that Chunky will do if he's in the tag barrel. If you haven't rescued Tiny, Chunky will still try and get you to select Tiny even though she's not there. I'll pop that up on screen now. Okay. So we get our gold banana. And basically what I rushed all the way here to demonstrate. Chunky is trying to tell you to pick a character that's not there. He will wipe his forehead nervously, but he still tries to catch your attention, rather nervously and a little awkwardly. But then we scroll back to him and he'll start panicking. So yeah, that's quite an interesting little situation. So we'll get to the trough and scoff doors a bit later on. Fall down that cliff in style and grab some more bananas. So yeah, in Donkey Kong Country 2 and 3, the jungle level is much later in the game. Some of them will pop up in the Lost World of DKC2, but in DKC3 they'll actually show up towards the end of the game. Even though they're the standard Donkey Kong level environment pretty much. It's kind of unusual to see that, and even then, they're only really there in the first world of Donkey Kong Country. As a matter of fact, in terms of level design and the different biomes you have, the Donkey Kong series is actually pretty good. I'll get onto that once I demonstrate the battle arena pads. These can warp you to the battle arena, which Squawks will tell us about. Press Z and beat his goons. So, there's one of these in each level and 2 on the DK Isles. So, Beaver Brawl is our first one, if we're very careful. Now this one is fairly simple. You can literally just run around the entire arena and have the beavers chase you for 30 seconds. This is the world's worst fight. Run, my horde of beavers, run! Come on, guys. Sprint training. I want sprinting. So there we go. Defeat or avoid all the goons to win a crown. Don't do what I did, and I'm about to put it up on the screen. So let's warp away. Every Kong has a unique pose. Now sometimes, depending on where you stand, you would actually wind up being able to take a chunk out of the platform as such. Well, that was embarrassing. I was trying to jump over them and lead them around. That was kind of embarrassing. We'll quickly duck into Funky's armory as well before I get going, because there's a bit more exposition. Get all that out of the way, and then we can talk about the biomes. Hey, been a long time, Donkey Dude. K-Rool's return is a real bummer. So, the main monkey's here to fix you up with some reptile-kicking hardware. Check this out. I got this real cool shooter that'll trash K-Rool's army. It's yours for just 3 coins. We talking a deal here? So, from laid-back surfer dude and transportation expert to arms dealer, Funky really has done a lot over time. Looking good, Donkey. Let me give you the lowdown. To fetch out or put away your shooter, press and hold Z, then press C left. Press B to fire. You can also press C up to use the aiming sight mode. And if you're firing blanks, I'm the monkey to C for ammo refills. Zero doing right now, Donkey Dude. Fred, I gotta go work on my next big thing. So a lot of video game environments are sort of fairly standard areas. You've got pretty much basic graphics, basic designs in a lot of things. It's kind of like how a lot of planets in sci-fi aren't just single biomes. For example, you've got the desert planet Tatooine, you've got Scarif, which is basically a tropical planet, you have the volcanic world of Mustafar, things like that. But even within, say, Congo Jungle, the very first level, well, the very first world of Donkey Kong Country, you've got the 3 jungle levels, because it is mostly a jungle area, but you've also got the underwater level and some caves. So there's our first gold banana, and we will have to get shooting in order to release Diddy. Those switches will only appear once we pick up this banana. In the second world, you've got your temple areas, you've got the walkways, and, of course, the mines. The mines and walkways are, interestingly enough, different little biomes, even though they're fairly similar in terms of how everything goes. Then you've got forest levels, which are indeed different. You've got another jungle level, and of course, I don't think there's actually a cave level, but there's the treetop levels, which are a lot of fun. I like the music for Treetop Town and Rope Bridge Rumble. Also, double tap. If you double tap C left when you're holding Z to take out your shooter, you'll go straight into first person mode. That's the easiest spot to get that one, because otherwise you kind of... Oh wait, I accidentally threw a grenade. But yes, Z and C right will allow you to throw grenades while you're aiming, which is really, really useful. Anyway, you've got a lot of different biomes in different areas around the Donkey Kong Country games. Because you'll have like the lava levels in DKC2, you might have one of those, or a beehive level, alongside the marshes of the various bayous. It's actually pretty impressive to see just how much work they do getting all those different biomes and areas sorted out. Though it is kind of odd to see that association with the jungle isn't done anywhere near as much as you think it is. It does actually help create a rather diverse game world. It's kind of like Breath of the Wild's world map. You have so many different locations along the way. You will be able to experience a lot of different areas to travel, different weather conditions, different environments. That actually helps, at least I think it does anyway, create a bit more of a realistic feel to to the DK Isles. And you can sort of see exactly how well everything goes together in Tropical Freeze as well. You've got that. For that, and indeed for DKC Returns, you have a much greater variety for your different levels. Some of them will keep the jungle theme along the way, but they do a very good job of actually showing off a whole lot of different environments and giving you a lot of different challenges. Now, I'll show you a bit of a shortcut, if I can press the right button. You can backflip on top of Funky's hut, and you'll be able to climb up here. Now, this is actually going to be useful. But what is also going to be useful is this location, Snide's headquarters. This sneaky weasel used to work on the Blast-O-Matic, but let's let him talk.
Greetings. Snide's the name, revenge is my game. Did you know K-Rool's been working on his Blast-O-Matic machine and intends to destroy your island? I was the chief technician on the project, but that double-crossing lizard kicked me off his team because he didn't trust me. I'll try to help you stop K-Rool's machine, but you'll need to find me some of my original blueprints. I believe they were given to some of the king's toughest cronies, so be careful. For every blueprint you return, I'll give you one of those golden bananas K-Rool stole from your horde. No blueprint, no banana. You never know, they might just buy you some valuable time. That's the deal, Kong.
So, pressing A will show you all the blueprints, and B is exit. So Snide is a fairly dodgy character on the surface, but ultimately quite helpful for us. So we can head back up here and collect the banana for rescuing Diddy. You'll note that now that we've saved him, there are red coins and red bananas around the place. Those doorways will also open too. We have a little bit more we can do. So, in terms of Snides, what I'm going to do is demonstrate the individual little mechanisms that Snide has for giving people gold bananas. There are clever little Rube Goldberg-style machines in all of Snide's huts. They actually change depending on the location. That's one thing I like about this game. Very good attention to detail and little quirks that actually allow for some good characterization here and there. But, in terms of the overall level environment, this game actually is, as I said, very good at bringing those out. You have a whole range of different things across the area, and indeed across the previous games as well. The multiple styles of level actually provide a little bit of extra challenge for you. And of course you've got all that great music by David Wise and Grant Kirkhope. Now if we clear out the beavers around here, 2 for the price of 1, we can head on into this crate. In the instruction manual, Cranky laments the absence of Winky and Espresso, and says, I hope... Well, I didn't mean to run into that. But he basically hopes they appear instead of that bone-brained rhino that always seems to get in the games. Here is that bone-brained rhino, and Rambi is just as unstoppable as ever. Use the B button to attack. Z and B allows us to perform a powerful charge attack, if the camera will cooperate. N64 era platformers, the camera is no fun. But you will actually be able to use Rambi in a couple of bonus areas along the way. Interestingly enough, DK's collectibles are not coded to Rambi. You can't actually pick up any of DK's collectibles with Rambi, which is a bit of a nuisance. But you can, on the other hand. And it is actually the same deal if you're playing as Lanky later in the game and you try to get Lanky collectibles with On Guard. You just don't get to do it. Whoa, camera. problem with these platformers, the camera is probably your greatest opponent. We'll be able to pick up a new move as well. There's also very forgiving hitboxes on those moves. And trigger that switch to activate a gold banana later on. We'll get to that in due time, but we've already done almost everything we need to with DK. I got a little bit of practice in for this one, admittedly, on account of the fact that I sort of stuffed things up and wanted to provide slightly better commentary, but I suppose that's the thought for the day after we've read Cranky Star. I've perfected another of my potions, Donkey, and it's yours for just 3 coins. You won't get much farther without it, so I suggest you pay up. What happens if you say no? You'll be back soon begging me for that potion. Get out of my cabin before I kick your ungrateful butt. Fairly standard cranky fare. So we can skip the dialogue this time and, of course, accept it. The Baboon Blast, BARRELUM PERILOUS. You can now play the Barrel Blast courses. Find my pad with your ugly mug on it, and press Z to launch yourself on your way. When you're in a barrel, press Z to fire yourself out. I'm not letting you have another potion yet. Come and see me on the next level. So I suppose probably the big question for right now is, as we skip out here and go to get that other banana, what would be your favourite level biome? I admit that I like the aesthetics of ice areas, but I absolutely hate ice physics, as I've made clear several times. Now, I do want to demonstrate a little something here. Note Diddy's little animation off to the side. That animation will play when you have the character selected in multiplayer. If you rotate around, look over to the right of screen, and DK will start doing his animation at the same time Diddy does his little animation. So we get the introduction for Diddy, but pay attention. See how this came up when we hit the DK switch. Diddy cannot collect that. You can't take another Kong's gold banana. So we'll get DK back for the rest of it. So I do like the aesthetics of ice areas. I do absolutely love Phendrana drifts in Metroid Prime, on account of the fact that it doesn't have ice physics for me to deal with. That is definitely a plus. I don't mind the look of volcanic areas. They can be kind of fun, but I think probably temple levels and things like that, I like those. I prefer quiet spaces, so I like rainy locations too. Locations with soft, gentle rain are really nice. I don't like thunderstorms a lot in real life. Which is kind of ironic given that one of my favourite Pokemon is Zapdos, basically the embodiment of a thunderstorm. Cloud areas can be really good because I absolutely love... I've gone and forgotten the name. Sky Garden, that's it. Sky Garden in... Whoa, I'm surprised I went that low. Sky Garden in the Mario Kart Super Circuit, absolutely love that one. Rainbow Palace in Bomberman 64, pain in the backside to navigate, but I absolutely love the look of it. I suppose just in a purely aesthetic sense, there is something that rainbows tend to add to things. Probably sort of from an artistic point of view, there's that beautiful sense of colour. Also, you can use the A button to launch yourself out of these. You'll also get a sort of higher pitched flute or woodwind theme for all the Barrel Blast courses. And there we go, we've wrapped up almost all of DK's gold bananas here. If we head through here, we will be able to find DK's Kasplat. We can't go much further because... Alright, excuse me. There we go. Tiniest Kasplat is up there, and a door that only Tiny can open is there as well. So yeah, it's really hard to pick which ones I like. Depending on what you have, the various level aesthetics can actually be pretty good. The Donkey Kong series has always been very good with that, adding in all the little mechanics that just improve the creativity of things. And I mean, the Mario series has generally been pretty good with things like that as well. The Legend of Zelda series adds a little bit of extra style. That's what we need, Kong. Another golden banana for you. I like some of the designs of the Zelda dungeons more than others. The overall biomes, the environment styles, and the different level creation styles, that's pretty important to have. So we've wrapped everything up for Donkey Kong. Don't need to go ahead with DK, and as we can see, there's the first blueprint. So it's really hard to pick sort of a description of the level style because how each game winds up handling different biomes will of course be different. You'll have different styles, different aesthetics based on what the creators actually want to show. But that winds up being pretty good in the end because it means you get sort of very creative applications. And with that comes music. You'll have certain themes that work better with specific styles. For example, you'll often have sort of sleigh bells, higher percussion, and sort of very Christmassy instruments if you're going for a classic winter aesthetic. You might have instruments that suggest, say, a more Middle Eastern style if you're going for deserts. Say something like the Spirit Temple. Oh, there are some bananas. There are some bananas for DK. Are there any for Diddy? Probably just down here. I do actually want to go into first person. Bananas should be a bit more visible as far as I know, but we will just keep exploring and see what we can find along the way. I'll need to grab a few more coins so that I can go and talk to Funky. We do actually need Diddy's shooter for a few things. We can also get some bananas underwater. But yeah, you're going to have a lot of different styles and different designs, and how each game handles them can be particularly interesting. You'll have a lot of little variations in the music and how it's all treated there. So really, it's basically just worth sort of exploring the different biomes in video games based on what the creators want to display. And I think that's a really good thing to have. You get that little bit of extra variety along the way, and it does wonders for things. So, Kasplats can use that powerful shockwave attack to deal a bit of damage from range. However, we will get the ability to perform a shockwave style attack of our own, but that's a bit later on and requires a different Kong. Now, there should be some bananas up here. You kind of have to look everywhere for these things. With the sheer scope of the levels as well, why does it keep zooming out? Yeah, you'll be able to perform those classic DK style and Donkey Kong style rolling techniques as well. Or land on a beaver, that works too. So, basically the jungle level has always sort of been a simple but welcoming environment in the Donkey Kong games. It's home as such for the Kongs, but it can also be particularly dangerous depending on where you go. Like, you'll note that in the Northern Cremasphere and on Crocodile Isle, the jungle levels are particularly dangerous. But when it comes to Donkey Kong Country, games like Tropical Freeze, the jungle level is well, it's kind of home really, so there's something welcoming even if there are challenges. I'm not entirely sure how long I've been going for. Anyway, we got the usual spiel for Funky. What happens if you refuse?
No offense taken, Diddy. I'll still be cool when you want it.
Yeah, Funky is, needless to say, quite chill with things. So let's pick up Diddy's signature firearm, and then we can pretty much end the episode here for now. So we'll just get the usual information. I've sort of stumbled through describing biomes because it's a bit tough to talk about them without the context of the game, but I think the way they're presented will of course vary on where they are in the game too. We'll maybe get to that a bit more in the next one. Thank you very much for joining me. Till next time, this is Red 2, returning to base.